Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. JP, I know you won the Mr. Nerd in the Bank. I love you and we'll have spaghetti, but you're not taking the king of the nerds from me.
You're watching the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, Ryan, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is N, it is D. Welcome to episode 129 of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Dave Cave's still under construction on that side of the screen, but we have a good background behind us. Happy Independence, America. To our friends who celebrated Canada Day, July 1st, happy Canada Day to you, but it is the U.S.'s day, July 4th, world champs. Happy 4th of July. We hope you are enjoying the barbecues and the beers and safely playing with fireworks. I know how a lot of you are. But yes, we're coming off a tremendous weekend of wrestling, and we have crowned a brand new Wrestling Nerd broadcast in the bank in JP Hooper, which may or may not have sent Tom a little scared to go to New Jersey, which would be weird because, he went closer to JP because Michigan and New York are further away. But congrats to JP. He is the new broadcast in the bank. A 50% success rate. I successfully cashed in on Gerald at the wedding. Margaret unsuccessfully cashed in at WrestleMania. But I would like to say, fun fact, Nick, every time that briefcase has been cashed in, I wound up champion somehow.
So never know.
Just saying. So JP,
if anybody's followed this show for any amount of time, that would not surprise anybody at all. That somehow you would end up with the crowd again.
Listen, I was accused of collusion in Margaret getting LA Knight for the briefcase for the men's match by DDJ. I mean, granted, that's a guy who lost us in a predictions contest at Forbidden Door, so how valid is his opinion? Just saying. But yeah, Money in the
Bank.
Bank.
Very, very controversial loss, though, Dave.
Controversial loss. I mean, not by my standards, not by how we operate here on the broadcast. Just saying. Maybe back when All American Wrestling was airing and all those guys were still youngins back in 1992 when this show was on. Nice Sunday afternoon for me and my family. But yeah, so Money in the Bank was a show that happened this past weekend. I love the fact that it was at 3:00 in the afternoon, although it threw me off because I'm like, okay, I've got to be done with my stuff at 3:00. This isn't like I have the whole day to myself and then I can watch wrestling. No, it's in the middle of the day. But it was a lot of fun. I wasn't tired afterward, which was very nice. And I was able to collect my thoughts and watch all like the reaction videos like I would normally Sunday morning. Nick, of what you saw of the show, what did you think?
Yeah, well, unlike you, Dave, mid-Saturday wrestling viewing isn't a top priority in my household. As much as I would like it to be. But so I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen the men's match. It was good from what I've seen. I have trouble, sorry to any of our UK visitors or watchers, but I have trouble understanding what their chants are. It just also sounds like...
You got to listen closely. I'll say this, watching Money in the Bank for a good chunk of it was like watching an international soccer match. There's just chants nonstop, which I like.
Yeah, I love the energy. I just don't know what to say.
Margaret was texting me. She's like, what are they singing? It sounds like a banger. I'm like, I don't know. It's some Man City, man football, whatever club song.
A lot of energy.
It was a lot of fun. So I guess we'll just kind of go through the card. We started off with the men's Money in the Bank briefcase match, in which Damian Priest, JP's representative, climbed the ladder, got the briefcase, and now has a guaranteed title shot whenever he so wants, for any title of his choosing. Now, this is what I find interesting. Like, they originally said like it's for any heavyweight championship they so choose, but I'm like, there is no cruiserweight title, so like, but like then they said like in the post match interview with him, they said like I could be the U.S. title again. I could win the Intercontinental title. I go after the world title. I go after the undisputed title, whatever I want. So I'm curious and we'll get into a little more later what he winds up going for. But I think Damian Priest was probably my second choice after LA Knight. Because there's all that collusion that I gave Margaret that spot. I'm just such a terrible person. I shook the box, Dennis. I shook the box, just like we shook you at Forbidden Door. Just saying, shook them away. And I think that was, I'm just trying to look at the notes. Yes, it was the second longest match of the night, of course, behind the Bloodline Civil War. Then it went to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick, I didn't ask you. What do you think of Damian Priest winning the briefcase? That's great.
Surprising.
Yeah, no, why? Yeah, why do you think it's surprising?
I don't know. I just didn't see. I thought Logan Paul was going to win personally.
Oh my God,
He took a pretty nasty. He took a pretty nasty fall. I don't know if he like legit hurt himself at the end of that match or not. The spot with him and Ricochet was weird.
For those who haven't watched, I highly recommend watching the match back. But and this is also I'm always I want to watch it live because I'm afraid of what like they might take out of the replay. But there's a spot where Logan is going for the briefcase. Ricochet jumps onto the ladder out of nowhere, and then LA Knight pushes them both off, and they both kind of land on the rope. And it looks like Ricochet and Logan Paul, they kind of get caught up in the ropes, and they're supposed to do a Spanish fly onto tables that are out there. But Ricochet just improvises when they just go back where they went head first. Logan Paul had a nasty gash on his shoulder. So hopefully, as much as we don't like him, hopefully he's not too badly hurt. But and I'll also say this, and I'll mention it again when we talk about the women's ladder match. I don't think a single ladder broke, which is a little weird because I feel like they were spots in which they were supposed to break, and they didn't.
That's like superior quality ladder made over in Europe.
Yeah.
You're thinking of American ladders. They made an American ladders.
In American ladders, that thing's breaking nonstop. But there in the good old UK, they build quality ladders
like a Japanese table.
Yeah, seriously, it is thick and it ain't breaking. It's not selling for nobody. But yeah, so an exciting match there. Then a little bit of a come down match they had for the women's tag titles. It was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez facing Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Of course, Morgan and Raquel never lost the titles. They had to vacate them due to a Liv Morgan injury. And I'm just a little curious as to how this went. I guess they misdiagnosed Liv when they stripped them. But the big story here is not the fact that Liv and Raquel won the titles. It's the fact that Shayna Baszler turned on her partner, Ronda Rousey, mid-match. And then my problem is this. It makes your baby faces look very weak because like they're like, oh man, what do we do? Okay, 1, 2, 3, we win, we're champs. But you lost because Shayna clearly helped you. I'm also conflicted because I feel like they should have done. I have no problem with the fact that they split Shayna and Ronda up, although I felt like they could have gone a longer time. Why not have Ronda turn heel on Shayna? Because I feel like people just are tired and sick and tired of Ronda Rousey, whereas like Shayna Baszler, people want to get behind. That's just my thought. What did you think of the match, Nick? Is this where you had to go out, or
no,
did you go out during the women's ladder match?
I went out. The Matt Riddle match is when I stopped watching.
Oh, okay.
But it was okay. I'm surprised that with Ronda Rousey, she was supposed to be like, she was like the biggest thing going at one point, and now somehow she's like not. I don't know.
She's just a regular girl.
Down. Yeah, it's like not even like one of the top people. She's like, Natalia status.
I don't think it's that bad because I don't remember the last time I saw Natalia win a match. Yeah, although Natalia at the house show I went to, Natalia super over. Kids love her. So, and I'll say this: Natalia's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, I seen a list. I wish I had it. It's the lost subject, but it was like the longest tenured people in the company that like haven't left and come back or anything. And she was pretty high up on that list.
It's like her and Dolph, I think.
Yeah,
are like
Randy Orton was number one. Randy, on the list, the person that's never left the company, like straight tenure. I wish I had it list in front of me. It was actually pretty interesting.
Well, we could talk about that next week for sure, because I'm sure like Kofi Kingston's probably up there. Big E's. I mean, I don't know if you're including like NXT runs, because Big E would be close to up there, I'd assume, because he came up in 2013.
Kofi was definitely on it. Dolph was definitely on it. It was like Tamina. was one of
Damn.
them. I think the Miz was number 2 actually.
I would assume. Yeah, Miz came around probably 2008,
And there's
7,
like
8
other
in that
people.
area.
I see people in the comments saying like, "Oh, what about Edge or Rey Mysterio?" But all the people have like left
Yeah,
or like
they
never
left
came
and
back. This is like continuous,
yep,
never active years,
yep.
which is pretty cool. But so yeah,
Um,
the next match is the last. I stopped watching. This is like
it,
it was like Gunther and Riddle,
yes, it was
right?
Gunther
Yeah,
versus
this is
Riddle. The
Owen.
crowd
Owen woke
was
up from his nap, and that was it for me for
those
Money in the
chops will
Bank.
wake anybody up. I'm telling you. But yes, we did have Gunther defending his Intercontinental title against Matt Riddle. And Gunther won by submission, put an ankle submission on him. Of course, he'd been working that ankle. This is why you wear shoes and boots in the ring, folks. Gunther at one point did chops to Matt Riddle's foot, and I thought it was the kinkiest stuff I'd ever seen on wrestling. Just when you think you've seen it all, here comes Gunther chopping feet. But yeah, another fun match. Only went 7 minutes 45. It was, in fact, yeah, it was the shortest match of the night. 7 match card, but yeah, fun, quick match. I'd like to see what they could do longer. I know they mentioned that Gunther is the third longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, behind Honky Tonk Man and Macho Man Randy Savage. So, um, Owen doesn't like Gunther, I guess.
No, I guess not.
So yeah, we'll go through the rest of the card then quick because Nick didn't get to see it, and I could tell you just how great everything was. Next up, we had Cody Rhodes defeating Dominic Mysterio. I thought this was a little weird in the fact that Brock, I heard the big rumor was that Brock Lesnar was going to appear, and it makes sense booking wise, but he did not. Cody got a clean win over Dom. Of course, Rhea, stuck her hand in there a couple times, but Cody got the victory over Dom. I was expecting Brock to cost Cody the match and Dom beats him. So this way, like Cody just doesn't care, moves on to Lesnar, and Dom can just be like, "Yeah, I beat Cody. Woohoo! I'm the best." But yeah, that did not happen. And then after that, oh, yeah, I was about to mention a comeback happened, but actually after the Gunther Matt Riddle match, Gunther is out there banging his chest. And then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre comes through. Line of the night by Michael Cole. There is a pissed off Scott at Money in the Bank. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, oh, Scott Steiner's back. Very fun. But so, yeah, Drew McIntyre staked his claim. He is next in line for the Intercontinental title. But after the Cody Dominic Mysterio match, my best friend, John Cena, came back, cut a promo. Yes. Oh, so this is
I didn't
news
know
to
that.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. So John Cena comes out and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just here to say hi and like thank you guys for being an awesome crowd. The decision makers, weren't sold on bringing a pay-per-view here, but I think we have, and I think that London or England deserves WrestleMania." And so I'm like, okay, there's no way they're letting him go out there and say this if they're not planning on doing this. So I would guess that WrestleMania in 2025, WrestleMania 41, happens in London, England. I doubt there's no way that they let John Cena go out there if they are not seriously considering or have not already made the decision to put WrestleMania over there. And I'll say this: the general consensus from what I saw on Twitter was that people liked the early start time. Like I said, it's kind of weird how you got to stop in the middle of the day. But the fact that that show is over around 7 o'clock, and I'm not dead tired. I'm yawning now because fun fact, we're recording this at 11:49 Miami time, everyone. But so yeah, I like to think that we're getting 2 4-hour shows on Saturday and Sunday. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I think it would be better if they just did it on one night and then just started it at 3. And it would be better for us Americans. It is an American-based company.
Listen, as somebody, it is Independence Day, but as somebody who went to WrestleMania 35, it was the longest day of my life.
Yeah. I went to WrestleMania 28. I guess that wasn't as bad.
No, because those shows were like 4 hours maybe, and it didn't have a 2-hour pre-show. Like my God,
But fun fact, I drove all the way from Miami back to Tampa that night after WrestleMania. If anybody's ever done that, you know that the first like 2 hours from Miami over, it's through something called Alligator Alley, and it's literally like a road that's like just with Everglades swamps on both sides of it for like an hour and a half. So like, I mean, you're just out there.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, no, WrestleMania 35 was the longest day of my life. I think we got to that stadium, MetLife Stadium. I want to say we got there like 2, 3 o'clock. Gates open. Pre-show started at 5 or 6, maybe 5. So like gates open at 4. We got there like 2, so we're tailgating and whatnot. You can see the whole vlog on the channel here. But yeah, that was a long day.
I don't know. I like the one day better. I just cut some matches.
I do, yes, I completely agree with that.
Not
I get
everybody needs a match at WrestleMania.
Have the Andre the Giant and the women's battle royals in the pre-show. Get everyone that's on the card out there. Have a 10-card pay-per-view. That's it. Okay.
I just feel like it doesn't feel like it's big of a deal on 2 nights.
No,
It doesn't work. I don't know.
no, I agree with that because they're like, oh, and they mentioned it during Money in the Bank, the fact that, the Usos and KO and Sami Zayn was the main event of WrestleMania.
But it wasn't.
Technically.
I mean, it's not, but
so was Kevin Owens and Stone Cold. So
I'm sure if you went back in time and split some of these WrestleManias up into two nights, you would have like some really, really weird main events.
Oh yeah, Boogeyman would definitely be having a 5-star classic. So speaking of another classic match, we'll get back on track here. So yes, London WrestleMania could be happening soon. Something else could be happening soon is Io Sky as a world champion as she won the women's ladder match for the Money in the Bank briefcase in quite a unique ending. So Nick, you didn't watch this match, so I'll tell you what happened. So at one point, Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus are beating up Becky Lynch, and they're going to try to handcuff her to the ring. So she obviously can't climb the ladder. They get one of the handcuffs on her, and then the other one they're fighting, and no, doesn't happen. So Becky is just fighting with a handcuff on her wrist. So it comes to a point where Io Sky climbs the ladder and Bayley pushes the ladder over. Oh boy, big turmoil there. So then Bayley goes up to climb the ladder. Becky meets her and they both go down, or Becky has the handcuff and she like fish hooks Bayley's mouth with it and drags her down. And so like they're both trying to go up. And so Io Sky then pops up and handcuffs Becky and Bayley's arms through the ladder so they can't go up or down. And she climbs over Bayley and grabs the briefcase, and which was a very unique ending to a ladder match. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Has anybody found Tom in the hot tub and got his thoughts on this yet?
I do not know. Tom is hiding right now because he does know Hot Tub Tom Machine. Hot Tub says hi machine says that we'll have to get his thoughts on this possibly next week, but the fact that Io Sky is a champion made me very happy. The fact that there was no other women's matches, like women's title matches I should say, on this match made me happy. And the fact that the Io Sky now has to hold on to that briefcase for more than a day. The last 5 Money in the Bank, Miss Money in the Bank contract holders cashed in that night. And it's ridiculous. I'm like, hold on to the briefcase for a little bit. So
I don't think it's fair that Io Shirai only has 2 title belts that she can cash in, but Damian Priest has like however many. There's like a million.
Well, I'll say this. I'm curious on this. So they said during the match when Bayley pushed Io Sky, Wade Barrett's like, oh no, he didn't push her. She didn't push her teammate over. Like it was instinct. Like you're, just pushing anybody over that's in the way. So my thought is this, and you could do it for Finn Balor and Damian Priest and Bayley and Io Sky. Be like, oh, why don't we take that briefcase, go after the tag titles, you and me? Let's do it. And then like just nah, I'm out of here. Going for that big gold. I personally want to see Io Sky cash in on Roman Reigns and end his reign of tyranny. I
feel like that's the whole reason that they did the thing with the men's one is because they didn't want to have Roman go over Roman, even though I think somebody that does eventually go over Roman on this pay-per-view, doesn't it? Happen. I'm pretty sure I read that. But
yes.
So maybe we should wait. Maybe we should go through this match and then I'll continue on what I'm saying. Let's finish up Money in the Bank.
Yep. So Io Sky is Miss Money in the Bank and won Margaret a t-shirt with that. So congratulations to the magnificent one. And then in the men's the World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth frickin' Rollins successfully defeated Finn Balor by pinfall. There was a moment in which Damian Priest came out with the contract in hand, and so Rollins like pops up, is like, "Oh, you want to do that right now? Come on, cash in right now." And I said this in our group chat, patreon.com/WNRDB, that Damian clearly was not going to cash in because his music didn't play. And that's you have to have your music play to cash in. It's just a fact. So there was a point where Damian sits down. Finn Balor's about to go for the coup de grace. And Damian stands up. Finn looks over that way. And then all of a sudden, like, Seth pops up, hits Finn, or Finn falls down. Seth hits the curb stomp and wins. So there's miscommunication there. So we see what happens with the Judgment Day. So fun match there. And then in the main event, it was Civil War, Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa against the Usos in a very surprising victory by some opinions. Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns to win the match for the Usos.
It was like the first time in like 2 years or something like that.
First time since 2019, Baron Corbin beat him. Yeah, and I like to think we'd all like to forget that match.
No, he's the lone wolf though now again.
He is. He came out with the lone wolf gimmick on NXT last week. That was fun. But yeah, a fun match, a very slow paced match that a lot of people don't like, and that I understand that. You don't need 30 minutes of that. I did like to see, like, it was pretty cool though. They were chanting at one point, "Stand up if you hate Roman, stand up if you hate Roman," something like that.
He sat down.
Yeah, he sat down. He's like, he's like going, "This is ridiculous. England is the worst." And just Michael Cole goes, "Go ahead. You still like him, Wade Barrett? Do you still like him?" He's like, "He's not talking about my England." I'm like, "What are you thinking, New England?" Wade's really from Rhode Island. But a fun match. You know, the Usos get the victory. Main event Jey gets the pin over Roman. He's the first person to pin him clean in 3 years. So decent pay-per-view overall. I'd give it an A. I had a lot of fun. Nothing seemed to overstay its welcome. Roman and the Bloodline Civil War match was the longest match, 32 minutes and 10 seconds. Men's ladder match, 20 minutes, 25 is the second longest. And of course, third longest is the women's Money in the Bank briefcase match. But yeah, overall good show, a lot of fun. I think the English crowd helped things tremendously, made it, they were into it, everything. They were chanting for everything. They were chanting for everyone. It was a great time there. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do with these briefcases. I'd like to see people hold on to them for a while. Curious to see, because they're both, I don't know if this is the first time that a faction has a briefcase. I don't know. Well, I mean, Big E had it with the New Day, but like there was no rift in the New Day when he had it. Rollins had it when he was a part of the Authority, I guess. But I mean, again, I don't know if they were feuding or whatnot. I mean, they were kind of like love-hatred there, but yeah. So
what an awful time.
Really was. It was dark times. But yeah, so I highly recommend go check out Money in the Bank if you haven't already done so.
But like I was saying, but to finish off with the briefcase, what I was saying before, I feel like it's such a cop out by them. This whole thing where they're like, "Oh, it can go." It's the only reason is because that nobody thinks Damian Priest is ever actually going to pin Roman Reigns, and that's how they're ever going to drop this thing. So nobody's going to care about this Money in the Bank briefcase unless we change the rules of it and change the stipulations so that now he can go to other more realistic belts that he's going to hold. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a cop out.
Well, I'll say this: I think he's going to go after Seth Rollins. And I think in time he will take that belt from him. I think that's why they created the world title more than anything, in a way. I'm just trying to see if they have the winners of the ladder matches. So let's see. One for two. So yeah, two of the last. What's that?
Are you trying to figure out how many people failed to cash in, or who?
Well, I'm just saying, recently, like two of the last three people to grab the briefcase have lost. It's technically two of the last three have won their championship who have cashed in, because 3 years ago you had Otis win the briefcase, but Miz cashed it in. But then he lost it right after that. And then Big E won last year. theory one. The women's briefcase has a 100% success rate, with the exception of Asuka winning it in 2020, but that's because she just won the world title because Becky Lynch was pregnant. So, I'm excited to see what they do with everything. It should be fun. I'm ready to see with it. So yes, let us know your thoughts on Money in the Bank in the comment section below. Let us know what your favorite match was. Let's give it a letter grade. And also in the comments, let me know what you think of my new background here. We got the photo of when we all met at the wedding, the very first episode, the 4-leaf clover poster, Spring Slam that we sponsored, and of course my best friend and yours, Mr. Cody Rhodes. So speaking of the American Nightmare, it's going to bring our Top 3 Tuesday in honor of the 4th of July. Our Top 3 Tuesday this week, just Nick and I. It is going to be top 3 most patriotic wrestlers that we want made.
Top 3 Shane McMahon matches.
No,
no,
it's not your birthday.
I noticed that there's a lack of Shane McMahon in the background there. Do I need to send you something?
That is by design, my friend.
Yeah,
oh, I am completely remiss because we failed to talk about it earlier. R.I.P. to Draws. Holy crap.
Yeah, definitely.
That hurt, by the way, because I've mentioned this story plenty of times in this broadcast and how I took a leak next to Ken Shamrock. That same day he was eating lunch with Draws at the Olive Garden. So, Draws, super nice guy. R.I.P. to him. God damn, that sucks. So thoughts and prayers to him, his family. But so to hopefully cheer us up, we're going to do our Top 3 Tuesday of most patriotic wrestlers that we want made into micro brawlers. Nick, do you want to go first or you want to go second?
I'm going to go second.
Okay. Then I'm going to start by number 1. Let's do my man, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I want him with the jacket, and I want his arms out doing the whoa. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Then I would like a redo of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I want him holding an American flag. I think that'd be really awesome. Doesn't he have
one where he painted half of his face like the American
flag? I think he painted his whole face in it, I think.
Their whole face. They should do
I think he painted his whole face.
They should do that as a micro brawl. That would be
I'm not sure, but I feel like they're doing that as a variant for his Major Bendy. I could be wrong on that.
But I feel like it would be a cool brawler.
And then let's see, number 3. Well, he had all these military people touching this gun. No, I'm not doing that. Let's see, who else could we have? Oh, it'd be really awesome. I know obviously can't have because it's WWE guy. The Undertaker from Survivor Series 94 with the cape. Like you could pretty much copy the Macho King, but just like the underneath with the American flag. That's pretty awesome. So Nick, now you get to go with your top.
Didn't the Undertaker have like a pro wrestling tea store for like a cup of coffee there at some point? I feel like he did, maybe for I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe like when he started doing meet and greets for 5 seconds.
That's what I thought, for a week or something.
Or maybe like a meat. No, I think he had like a Mean Mark Calloway store or something.
If they did, if he did, even for a week, there was a major mistake not to put out a brawler and just the little tiny window they had. You got to get that out.
Would have been nice.
But all right, my top 3 patriotic wrestlers. Well, we can start off with the Patriot, Don Wilkes, the Patriot, the brawler. He's pretty patriotic. I mean, his name is
Dale Wilkes.
Patriot.
Was it
Don Wilkes? I think it's
Is it Don Wilkes? I thought it was Dale. I'm gonna look that up.
And then he was on the Indies too. It was but it was a different guy. It was like Tom Brandy or something playing him on the Indies. I'm pretty sure I seen the Tom Brandy version of the Patriot at my local indie growing up. Pretty sure it was him.
Dale Wilkes.
Dale Wilkes. His Tom Brandy. If it's Tom Brandy, one of them.
Delbert Wilkes. What a name.
Does it say that the dude Tom Brandy also did the gimmick on the Patriots Wikipedia? I'm almost positive it's a dude named Tom Brandy that did it.
I'm not seeing because it just says Del Wilkes is the name of the guy. So, oh well. Who else you got?
How about? See, I was going to do the Undertaker with that. Oh, I got one. Mr. America. It definitely wasn't Hulk Hogan. Mr. America. Mr. America Brawler would be great, brother.
The solid one.
I'm trying to think. They already have a Lex Luger.
You do Lex in the pants. Those American flag pants.
I got one. We're gonna do Sergeant Slaughter.
Ooh, solid.
Like Sergeant Slaughter coming back, babyface after he turned on America, and then he
I
came
like
back.
that.
He came back. R.I.P. Iron Sheik.
Oh, I like it. You could also do you could do Lex Luger
Flamin'
in the American
Yoko.
flag pants. I'm just trying to think of brawlers we have. You could do oh damn, I just had it. You said the Undertaker. We could do American Badass. Patriotic-ish, but so let us know your most patriotic wrestlers that you want made in brawlers in the comments below.
We the people, Jack Swagger.
Weed the people.
Weed, yes.
Oh man, I saw that guy get buried by Alberto Del Rio at Mania in a 5-hour shift. That was intense. Yes, let us know your top 3 Tuesday in the comments below. Your thoughts on Money in the Bank. Congratulations again to JP for being Mr. Broadcast in the Bank. I'm sure Tom is looking forward to saying hi to you. So until next time, on behalf of myself, DaveCTheVoice, the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter, and somewhere in his humble abode, His Royal Highness, says Highness, Tom Sasso, Harold.
For how much
Gerald,
longer? How much longer?
exactly.
That's the question.
How longer is Tom King? That's up for JP to decide, or maybe me to decide. You never know. I am a certified referee. I do have that.
Maybe one day he'll actually defend the crown.
I know. Seriously, Tom's the Roman Reigns of this broadcast right here. But so yes, until next time, on behalf
We
of
love
myself,
you, Tom. We miss you.
It's okay. Until next time, don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day, because like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.